Hi, my name is Brandon Lenhoff, owner of Lenhoff Financial, and my best guess as to why you're here right now is either number one, you are afraid of losing money in the market, or number two, you do not want to run out of income in retirement. If either of those is true, then you have come to the right spot. If you are somebody that is not worried about market losses, is okay with taking risks in the market, you are not in the right spot. That is not what we focus on. We help people with their safe bucket portion. We find good options where you're still going to get some good returns, but protect you from market losses and make sure you don't run out of income. So for those of you that is what you're looking for, stick around. Everybody else, I'm glad you stopped by, but this is not the right spot for you. But for the rest of you, let's take a look at what we have here. Glad we got that out of the way. Now that we have everybody here that's supposed to be here, I'm going to get into this and just kind of give you a high-level overview of what we do and what we focus on. But just to reintroduce myself again, my name is Brandon Lenhoff, owner of Lenhoff Financial. I do have 17 years of experience in the financial services industry. My first client-facing role was actually during the '08 market crash, and at that time, I did really see how that affected people that did not have a good safe bucket set up. So my goal from there has been to look at safe bucket options for my clients and find them good alternatives that are going to be a good fit for them in their situation, to make sure that they're not going to have to worry about market losses in retirement and not going to have to worry about running out of income. But with that said, what we're looking at here is just a PDF that shows 4 different quadrants of retirement. So top left-hand corner, we have pension and Social Security. What's nice about if you do have a pension, that's a huge added bonus. A lot of people do not have pensions. A lot of companies are getting rid of those. But Social Security, hopefully that'll be there for us for the rest of our lives. But what that'll be is a monthly payment that'll come to you for the rest of your life. It makes it a lot easier to budget when you know what's coming in. It's a lot more difficult when you have a lump sum of cash when you get to retirement, that you got to try to figure out how to spend down appropriately and not run out of it. We are all used to a monthly paycheck coming in. We aren't used to thinking about this lump sum of cash and not running out. So Social Security will definitely help us with budgeting. If you have a pension, that's even better. Taxable income. These are going to be things like 403Bs, 401Ks, IRAs, 457s. These are all options where you have not paid taxes yet. You're contributing with pre-tax dollars to your retirement account. And then when you get to retirement, you take distributions, you will pay taxes at that time. Tax-free income options. These are going to be things like Roth IRAs, municipal bonds, maybe cash value life insurance. With cash value life insurance, you can actually take tax-free distributions if you set it up correctly. So these are all options where you're going to pay your taxes up front. Then on the back end, you aren't going to have to worry about paying your taxes on the gains or the original contribution. So that's a great way. A lot of people are starting to move to that direction because more and more people, with all the money we're printing off, more and more people are worried that taxes are going to go up in the future. So they're like, why don't we go ahead and just pay my taxes now? Not right for everybody, but for a lot of people, it is. So those are some tax-free income options that are out there. Now, insurance benefits and living benefits. So a lot of times people want some extra protection from a major financial burden in retirement as well. The big one being in-home health care or nursing home assistance. Those can be ones that can completely wipe out a person's life savings or completely screw up their retirement plans. So sometimes people want extra protection for that. Now, what we do and what we focus on is we can actually help people with all 4 quadrants. So just depends on where money's coming from. So if we've got taxable income, anything coming from a 403B or 401K or a traditional IRA or a 457, what we're going to do is we're going to do a rollover from, say, a 401K to a traditional IRA. That way, on the transfer, you're not going to have to worry about any taxes on that transfer of your funds from your 401K to the traditional IRA. Tax-free income, if you have like a Roth IRA, we're going to do a direct transfer from one Roth IRA to another Roth IRA. We have options to do that, so there's not a taxable transfer there. And then that way you'll still be within a Roth IRA as well when you move the funds over to us. Now, you may have funds that are outside of this. You may have funds that are what we call non-qualified, which can be just a savings account or money sitting in a checking account, or maybe you just have a brokerage account that wasn't ever tied to an IRA or a Roth IRA or a simple IRA or a 401k or anything of that nature. It may have just been an account that you set up yourself and just started plugging money into. Those are called non-qualified funds. We can help with that as well. So then we also have pieces that are going to have an insurance component and it's going to help you with some of that in-home healthcare. We do life insurance as well. We can help people with these living benefits if they are interested in that. Also, we have options that are going to act like more of a pension component where we're going to be able to guarantee you that income for life. So our goal for our clients is to help them fill the income gap. The income gap is the difference between what you're used to making while you're working and Social Security wages. Typically, that is about a 50% difference or better. And we want to use what you have already saved and what you're going to continue to save to help fill that gap so it's not such a shock to your system. Now, when it comes to investing, there are a lot of different options out there, but they're pretty much going to fall under two different categories. So we've got either options that are tied to the market, so variable funds. So this blue line here, what's nice about these is you can obviously have some really big market gains. What's not so great about these is you can also have some really big losses as well. So obviously during September 11th, during 2002, we had that market crash. Also, a lot of people remember the 08 market crash where a lot of people lost about 50% of what they had. Those can be the downturns to this. Now, it's not all bad if you're younger. You know, you can take advantage of the dollar cost averaging. You're going to buy some low, some shares low. You're going to buy some higher, but over time, hopefully, you're just going to keep up with inflation. But as we get closer to retirement, that becomes increasingly more difficult, and especially when we are in retirement, we're trying to take income. So we start to put more and more money into safe bucket options. What a lot of brokers will say is we'll take, say, 100 minus your age, and that's about how much you should have in the market. Then we're going to probably put some more in some medium risk. Then we're going to put the rest in safe bucket options. Well, what are some good safe bucket options out there? You know, there's CDs. They don't pay hardly anything. There are bonds. Bonds are inversely related to interest rates, though. Interest rates are an all-time low right now, and they're starting to raise them because they're trying to hedge inflation. So as those go up, guess what? Bonds come down. So you could actually lose money in bonds. Not only that, but with a traditional money manager, you're usually being charged 1.5%, 2% management fee or better just for somebody to manage your money, you know, look over your money. And on a safe bucket option, that really doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a 1.5%, 2% fee on something that you're only getting 3-4% rate of return? You're really eating away at those returns when you are dealing with something like that. So we have options where we're going to participate in portions of the gains of the market and never any losses. So we're always going to lock in our gains, which is going to give us more of this stair step effect. So when the market goes down, you're just going to remain level. When the market comes up, you are going to share in the gains. You're not going to get 100% of the gains, but you're going to share in them. And you'll get more of that stair step effect. Like I said, you're always going to lock in the gains. If the market comes back down, you will not lose not only your original principal, but you will not lose your gains either. So it can really be huge when it comes to retirement and your income. Now, the reasons why a person would want to set up a good safe bucket option, I think that this really illustrates those reasons really well. So this shows 3 different people in retirement. We have Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, and Miss Gold. Now, they were all each exactly the same when they retired. They were each 65 years old. They each saved up $1 million for retirement. They each averaged a 6% annual rate of return over the 25 years we're looking at here between ages 65 and 90. And they each were taking 5% annual withdrawals off of their $1 million of savings, or they were taking $50,000 a year as income that they were spending down from their retirement accounts. The only thing that was different between the three of them is when they retired and how they were diversified. So Mr. Green and Mr. Blue, they were both in the variable side of the market. So they were in the market. They were in options that go up, but also go down. Now, Mr. Green, he retired in an up market. So he had some big gains early on that made it okay for him to spend that $50,000 per year. And he did just fine. He had a lot of money left at the end of his life. Mr. Blue, on the other hand, he is representative of people over the last 20 years of retirement. And he took some big hits early on. And because of that, he actually ended up running out of money in retirement. While I was working with that broker dealer, I saw this happen to people firsthand during the 2008 market crash. People that were close to retirement or in retirement, they either had to learn to live on a lot less, go back to work, or extend out their retirement date. Really wanted better for my clients. People that had a good safe bucket set up, they didn't have to worry about this. And there's a lot of studies on this. In the past, what financial advisors would do is they would say, hey, let's talk about the 4% rule. 4% rule, what that is it states that if you spend 4% down on your lump sum, so in this example, say it's off of $1 million, that would be $40,000 per year. If you spend 4% down, you should never run out of money in retirement. Now, people that lived by that rule over the last 20 years actually ran out. So then they changed it, and there are some statistics out there that they're calling it a 2.9% rule now, which is an educated guess, but it is not a guarantee. So not only that, but that's a huge difference in income. Think about it, difference between $29,000 a year and $40,000 a year as income. Well, when we look at Miss Gold over here, she had a good safe bucket set up. She was able to spend that $50,000 a year down, no problem. Didn't have to worry about it because she never had to worry about taking a dip. When you take a dip, you're selling off shares low that never have a chance to rebound. You need a good safe bucket set up so you don't have to worry about that. So in the end, she did not have as much money left over as Mr. Green did at the end of her life, but she just didn't have to worry about running out of money. The safe bucket options, they say that you can safely spend down about 4.8%. And a lot of the options offer guarantees on it as well. So that is why you want to have a good safe bucket set up. Not saying that there's anything wrong with having money in the market and taking some risk, but just have a good safe bucket set up so then that way you don't have to worry about running out. What we really do and what we focus on is looking at the income that you need or want for retirement and utilize the funds that you already have or maybe that you're going to continue to save. And between your Social Security wages, pensions you may have, and the safe bucket options that we put together for you, we're going to come up with a plan for you where your income is guaranteed. Think about how that would feel to know that you're not going to run out of income. You're going to have the income that you need for the rest of your life. That way, anything else that you may have in the market, you're not going to have to worry about. You're not going to have to sit there and watch the market every morning in retirement and think about, hey, can we go out to eat today, honey, or do we need to eat ramen noodles? You're not going to have to do that. So if you want to learn more about this, go ahead and click the link below and schedule a time on our calendar. What'll happen when you schedule a time on the calendar is there's going to be an intake specialist that takes your initial call, and it's just a 5 to 10 minute phone call where we literally just get a better idea of where you're at right now, as far as savings are, what your goals are, when you want to retire. We're going to gather all of your financial information and where you're at right now. Then what's going to happen is it's going to go to either myself or another member of my team, one of my financial representatives, who is going to look at the different products and solutions that we have. We are independent brokers, so we have several different companies and products to choose from. So we really do work for you and not any one company. And we are going to put together a plan that makes sense for you. And we're going to get you that information at a later date and maybe hop on a Zoom call to go through those options with you. So click the link below, schedule a time on our calendar for that 5 to 10 minute phone call. Make sure it's at a time that you have nothing else going on. Make sure that it's a time that's going to work for you, please. If you do have another decision maker, if you're married, this is a big deal. We're talking about your retirement. Pick a time that's going to work for both you and your spouse, and we will dissect your current retirement situation, and we will put together a plan that's right for you and see if it's a good fit. So click the link below, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks again.